All right, so in this exercise, we're going to install our network policy server. And right now, we're looking at PLAB DM01, but we're going to do this work on our PLAB SA box. Let's log into it. This is our standalone server. Let's open up PowerShell and run it as an administrator in order to get to work on setting up NPS server here on PLAB SA. So the first thing we're going to do is to configure the Ethernet on PLAB SA to use PLAB DC01, a 192.168.0.1 address as the preferred DNS. Syntax error, let's try it again. All right, the command went through. We're not going to get a confirmation for this. Next, we'll add this computer to the domain. And we'll enter our password. And click OK. Syntax error here. Let's try again. All right, it went through this time. And we'll shut this machine down. All right, now we're going to reconnect to PLAB SA box. We're going to go ahead and minimize Server Manager here. And go back into PowerShell as admin. All right, so our NPAS policy server is getting installed. All set. We'll go ahead and exit out of this. We're still on our PLAB SA box. We're going to configure our network policy server. So with Server Manager opened up again, let's go to Tools, then Network Policy Server. Taking a look under NPS Local, let's expand Radius Clients and Servers. Let's right mouse click Radius Clients and select New. Let's go ahead and enter a friendly name for our Radius client, which is going to be PLAB DM01. And IP address 192.168.0.2, and we'll enter our password. Click OK. I forgot to verify the IP address, so I'll just jump back into Radius Clients, double click on PlabDM, and let's go ahead and verify the IP address right now. And click OK and OK. Let's go back into the Radius Clients page and click on Advanced. And let's check the access request message must contain the message authenticator attribute and click OK. Next, we're going to configure Network Policy Server logs. So inside of the Network Policy Server, let's click on the Accounting tab. Inside of the Write Details pane, let's click on Change Log File Properties. Click on Log File. On the Format drop-down, let's select IAS Legacy, and we will create a new log daily. Let's click Apply and OK. Okay, right now what we're going to do, we're going to create a VPN interface. Now, the typical setup for VPNs is usually with two network cards, one facing the external network and the other facing the internal network. All right, that's done. Next, we'll set the DNS. And that is done. Next thing we need to do is to add the remote access service. And the remote access service is installing now. And that's done. So our next task is to initialize remote access management. We're still on PlabDM01. Let's jump into Server Manager, go to Tools, and down to Remote Access Management. On the left pane, click Direct Access and VPN. Then click Run Remote Access Setup Wizard. On Configure Remote Access page, we're going to select Deploy VPN only. On the Route and Remote Access page, we're going to right mouse click on PlabDM01 and select Configure and Enable Remote Access. Go ahead and click Next. We're going to leave the default here, Remote Access Dial-Up or VPN. Next. Select VPN. Next. Select Ethernet 2 and click Next. On IP address assignment, let's go ahead and select from a specified range. Click Next. Go ahead and click New and enter your range. The range is entered. We'll go ahead and click OK. And Next. On managing multiple remote access servers, we're going to select Yes, set up this server to work with a Radius server, and click Next. We'll go ahead and enter some information here. This one will be called PlabSA01. Next. And finish. This message is just telling us that in order to relay DHCP messages, we need to configure the client with the server's IP address. That's fine. Okay. Let's go back to PLAB DMO1, right mouse click it, go down to Properties, Security. On Authentication Provider, click on Configure. PLAB DMO1 selected, click Edit, and select Always Use Message Authenticator. Click OK twice. Next, in Accounting Provider, let's click on Configure, Edit, and select Send Radius Accounting On and Accounting Off Messages, and click OK twice. So in this exercise, we're going to enable VPN ports for incoming access. So we're still inside of routing and remote access. Let us select ports, right mouse click, and select properties. Select WAN mini port PPTP and click configure. So let's ensure that routing remote access connections inbound only is checked, and demand dial routing connections inbound and outbound, we're going to clear that box. In the phone number field for this device, we're going to input our IP address and click OK. Next, let's select L2TP, click configure. And we're going to do the same thing, ensuring that remote access connections inbound only is checked, and we're going to clear the box for demand dial-in routing, and we'll go ahead and add our IP address. Okay. Let's right mouse click PLAB DMO1 and select Properties. Click on IPv4 tab, and on the adapter drop down, let's select Ethernet 2. Apply and OK. In our next task, we're going to grant VPN dial-in permission. Let's jump into our domain controller, PLAB DC01. On Server Manager, Tools, then Active Directory, Users and Computers. Let's expand the domain. Click on Users. Select Administrator. Right mouse click. Go to Properties. Select the Dial-In tab. And on Network Access Permission, select Allow Access. Click Apply and OK. Our next task is to configure a second IP address for our Windows 8 box. So we'll jump into the Windows 8 box right now. Let's go into File Explorer, on the address bar, we'll type in PowerShell to launch PowerShell, and we'll go ahead and configure that second IP address. All right, that IP address is configured. Next, we'll set this box up to use PLAB DC01 as a DNS server. And that's done. Next, let's create a VPN connection on our Windows 8 box. Let's go ahead to the network connections icon, right mouse click on it, and go to Open Network and Sharing Center. Let's click on Set up a new connection or network. Select Connect to a workplace, set up a dial-up or VPN connection. Click Next. Click Use My Internet Connection VPN. Enter the IP address. We'll name this one Practice Labs VPN Connection. Select Remember My Credentials and allow other people to use this collection, and click Create. Let's go ahead and click outside the network flyout. Next, we're going to click Change Adapter Settings. Select our VPN, right mouse click, go to Properties. Click on the Security tab and select Access these protocols. That's EAPMS CHEP version 2. Select the Networking tab, IPv4 and Properties. Click Advanced. Let's go ahead and clear Use Default Gateway on Remote Network. And click OK to get out of this stuff. Select Practice Labs, right mouse click, click Connect for the network flyout. Select Practice Labs VPN connection, click Connect. Let's enter the admin's credentials. So we got an error trying to make the VPN connection. So what we're gonna do, we'll jump into our PLAB DM box and we'll go ahead and reboot that. And we'll actually go to our standalone server and we'll go ahead and reboot that as well. And I'm going to also reboot the Windows 8 box. All right, so I rebooted the domain member server, the standalone server, the Windows 8 box, and I was still unable to connect to the VPN. So I just went ahead and rebuilt the VPN. Let's see if it works now. Should have connected by now. Looks like it's gonna error out. Let me go ahead and cancel out of this. I'm gonna jump back into my DC and reset the password for the admin. All right, let's jump back into the Windows 8 box and try to connect to the VPN again. This is taking a little while, so I'm going to move on to the next exercise, and then we could double back and come back and check this out. So for this exercise, viewing the NPS logs, we're going to download and install an NPS reader. It's called IAS Viewer. We're going to jump back into our PLAB SA box. Let's click on File Explorer, C Drive, Windows, System 32, Log Files. Let's select the N19702 file, right mouse click, open. So you see, you're going to need an NPS reader to be able to understand this information. Let's go ahead and minimize this. Let's jump into Server Manager, click on Local Server. Inside of Properties for PLAB SA01, let's locate IE Enhanced Security Configuration and click the link. And let's select Off for admins and users. Click OK. Next, let's open Internet Explorer. Scroll down to Tools. On the Tools page, scroll down to Windows Server 2012. Select IAS Viewer Zip. Click on Open. Double click Setup. And let's go ahead and install it. Let's go to our desktop, which we should have an icon for IAS Viewer, and there it is. And it located our log file instantly. And let's go ahead and click OK to view the contents of the log file. Looks like it's still loading the log file in the background. Let me kind of drag this out of the way. Alright, I closed out of it via Task Manager. Let's try it again. And these are our logs. We could select any one of them here and right mouse click and go down to Item Details, and it will give us a multitude of information. So our final task is to export NPS templates. Let's jump back into Server Manager, click on Tools, then Network Policy Server. So the reason you would do this is if there's more than one NPS server, you could just export the template to the next server. Let's select Template Management, right mouse click, and select Export Templates to a File. We'll just call this file PLABs and save. There you have it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video, and thanks for watching.